remember this being a little crown jewel of the West Coast. The City of Roses, a little funky, a little weird, artsy, one of the best food scenes in the world. That's gone. Portland is a hollowed out shell of what it used to be. Businesses are fleeing and people are leaving for greener pastures.
If you make over $250,000, you're one of the most heavily taxed people in the country. For what? I mean, I think people are looking around and wondering what services they're getting in return when they see lawlessness, crime, and decay.
Public safety is failing in Multnomah County, and that's not a shocking statement. It's a complete disaster.
2022 set a new record for homicides in the city of Portland.
Record homicides for a second year straight.
Record year of gun violence.
96 homicides in Portland last year, and police already telling us they've responded to 12 shootings in the new year.
Homicides up 61%.
A man dead after a stabbing at a home in the Lentz neighborhood.
One person dead and one hurt.
The walls of her home are covered in bullet holes.
Police have been in a standoff.
Carjacked a passing driver.
The fourth time in the past year that the business has been broken into.
My name is Kevin Barton, and my job title is District Attorney for Washington County. I think it's a true statement to say that we are seeing increased rates of crime throughout the state. Each area has different challenges, but what we're seeing in the metro area is absolutely rising crime.
So what's happening is with our decarceration and elimination of bail culture, we've got all these people running around. We've got people pushing toddlers, a woman pushing a toddler onto the Max tracks. Many of us saw that video. That was not too long ago. Someone's in his 70s, his head was chewed down to his scalp. His ear was ingested. The person who did this was allegedly on drugs. So we have a real crisis on our hands and an intersection of homelessness and crime, and then of course this failure to prosecute. And it's really scary because we also have this anti-police culture. You say you support the police, I think you'll get the middle finger pretty quickly. How are people suggesting that we address homicides if not with police?
Portland area is made up of 3 big counties, the biggest counties in the state. Multnomah County is the biggest, and there's Washington County and Clackamas County. We make up the tri-county Portland area, the greater Portland area.
Washington County is a large county. It's the second most populous county in Oregon. Property crime has increased, violent crime has increased, but I should say the increases that we're seeing are nothing like the increases that we're seeing in our neighbors, Multnomah County. So we are still a very, very safe county. In fact, we are the safest large county in Oregon.
I'm John Wentworth. I'm the Clackamas County District Attorney. As I sit here and have this interview, there's a homeless camp right outside of my window. And that's unique. This has never happened before. And an increase in organized retail crime, we see that. We've seen an increase in domestic violence. It really took off, in my opinion, probably in the last 3 years. The rise in crime is more moderated in Clackamas County than I would say it is in, say, Multnomah County. That's a community that has a great deal of crime. 2 years ago, they had the highest homicide rate, Portland did, that it had ever had. Not just the rate, but the raw numbers. Largest number of homicides ever, and they topped that last year. We had 5. Part of it is the population and what they expect from their local government. Part of it is efforts to defund the police, which has worked. I mean, the number of police officers at the Portland Police Bureau has just plummeted, which makes actually investigating crime challenging.
What's frustrating is I hear this from a couple different cities. 911 calls and non-emergency calls have dropped, therefore there's less crime. I would say that's not true. What's happening is people are less likely to call because you can't get a hold of anybody, or if you call, this says we're not going to go there. I witnessed a smash and grab this summer in Portland, Oregon, and I happened to be standing right there when it happened and filmed it. So not only did I witness the person, I have it on tape, and then I chased him for about a mile. I called 911 and they said, we're not going to pursue. I did everything and they said, we're not going to pursue. That sends the wrong message. Why do you think the criminals are out there doing this? Because they know even if a person calls the police aren't going to show. And I wouldn't say it's the police's fault, because I'm a strong believer in public safety and I love working with the police. It's their hands are tied because of politics. If a cop knows it's not going to be prosecuted, why are they going to waste their time on 2 hours of paperwork and drive him down just to go release an hour later? It's a waste of time for everybody. Cities that are softer on crime, of course crime's going to go through the roof.
And Clackamas County does things differently, and our policies are different than what you would see in Multnomah County. So I'm proud to say that our police are fully funded in Clackamas County. We made sure that it's the #1 budget item from our general budget, is to make sure that our sheriffs and our deputies are fully funded.
We have a strong message, and that is that the mission of public safety is keeping people safe. And so that means that your car should be there when you get back to it if you park it somewhere with its catalytic converter. Your home should not be burglarized. Your children should be safe at school. And when you walk down the street, you should feel safe. If you commit a crime, you will be held accountable for that, because that will dissuade people from committing crime. And those who do commit crime will be dealt with and incarcerated if that's the appropriate answer, or rehabilitation will be promoted for them if that's the appropriate answer. Our crime rate is about 30% below the state average, and it's about 50% below Multnomah County.
"70 to 80% of the cases that we see. The quality of investigation that we get tends to be good and allows us to actually do our part of the job to ensure that when a victim reports crime, something happens as a result.
So if you were to only look at, for example, theft charges in Washington County, for misdemeanor theft charges, which is basically someone stealing something that's worth less than $1,000. So think of shoplifting at a Target or a small business or a Home Depot. We file about 91% of those cases. So 9 out of every 10 of those cases that comes in the front door gets prosecuted. And over 90% of those cases result in convictions.
Those prosecution rates aren't the same from county to county, and I think has created some challenges for counties that have lower prosecution rates.
I mean, if it was in Multnomah County, like, you would got released already. It's up.
I know. It's because it's Washington County.
We can't let anything slip. I don't see graffiti and see the beauty of independent expression. I see vandalism, I see a crime, I see a business owner or the public that has to address and pay for the repair that has to be done because of the graffiti. That's philosophical.
But local policies that are done the right way with a little bit of tough love and not enabling this behavior will have vastly different outcomes than the neighboring city right next door to them. You can walk down your street and feel safe, that you can go down the store, your kid can ride the bike in the neighborhood where you live and feel safe, that your kids can go on the swing sets and not have to worry about falling onto someone's dirty needles.
Portland is our largest city in our state. Portland needs to succeed. And if Portland succeeds, the rest of the state succeeds. So we all have a vested interest in making that happen. What we know is that businesses are leaving Portland. People are leaving Portland, and visitors aren't coming to Portland. That needs to stop immediately, and it starts with leadership at all levels. It's not just one individual person or one individual office, but it's all levels of leadership need to exist to say enough is enough, and this needs to be a safe city that prioritizes letting people live their lives in safety.
The people that are leaving are the people that are paying for all the social programs that the far left is waving goodbye to. I don't know who they think is going to be funding all that stuff, because they certainly are not.
We're committed to the principles and values that made Oregon one of the most beautiful and wonderful states in the union, and it's worth saving. Voters need to wake up and vote differently. We need people to look at the outcomes and say, did these leaders make this worse or better for me? Is my life better today than it was? This is my home, and I'm committed to bringing Oregon back.